This is Moorooka, a suburb of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. Moorooka is an exciting suburb, full of stuff. When I mention to someone that I live in Moorooka, they usually say, "Oh, near the Magic Mile," and I reply, "Yeah, just a few streets away from it." The Magic Mile is a great theme park with 12 different extreme water slides, a trampoline the size of an Olympic swimming pool, the longest nausea-inducing roller coasters in the southern hemisphere, an open-plan zoo where live wildebeest and Christians are fed to the lions 3 times daily, and the Whitlams playing in the amphitheatre every Saturday night at 8:45. Actually, it's just a bunch of used car sales yards. And a few new car sales yards too. Some car yards have more than others. Incidentally, the Magic Mile is 1.49 kilometres long, falling short of a mile by quite a few yards, because when I went to school here, we were taught to measure distance using the metric system. What is this, America? Oh, don't put this bit in. This is the shop on the corner at the top of my street. It used to be a poster shop with a giant Charlie Chaplin painted on the side, and the whole shop was painted pink. It was good because we could tell people to just turn down the street with the bright pink shop on the corner. Then the poster shop closed and a second-hand store opened up. Their big feature was a life-size statue of Elvis Presley, which stood on the corner. It was good because we could just tell people to turn down the street with Elvis standing on the corner. The Elvis statue was sold and quickly replaced by another in a slightly different pose. Not long after that, the shop closed down. Sometime later, while I was looking for a car down on the Magic Mile, I found out what happened to Elvis after he went out of business. He moved a few streets away to work at the Car King. And if Mr. Presley's move to the International Hotel of Car Yards wasn't turning the suburb into the Vegas of the South, then this place certainly did the trick. A few years ago, the whole suburb underwent a renewal program, which basically means community artwork. This was one of the artworks. Is it a seat? Nobody knows. This is another one. It's a picture frame on an angle. If you look through it, you can see Mount Cootha in the distance. Well, you could until the trees grew up in front of it. Sadly, there's one fatal flaw with this piece of artwork. It's exactly the right size to fit a shopping trolley in. That's right, one day we drove past the tilted picture frame and saw that the night before some crazy larrikins had put a shopping trolley in the picture frame. The shopping trolley came from here, the Woolworths shopping centre in the middle of Moorooka. I know about 2/3 of the staff. I went to school with most of them. But their shopping trolleys often go missing. They used to have a sign out the front that said not to steal the trolleys, but then someone stole the sign. So now the shopping trolleys end up here, 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 here and here. And occasionally here. Sometimes the same crazy larrikins who put shopping trolleys in community artworks like to ride them down the hill in my street. They end up here. This is the park down the road from me. When I was little, it used to have a steel slippery dip, but then when public liability insurance became a buzzword, they took it out and replaced it with this plastic one. It gives you a static shock whenever you go down it, plus it's not even long enough to give you a small thrill. So the youth moved on to the only remaining attraction. Oh, not this one. This one, the 7-Eleven. Well, it's not a 7-Eleven anymore, but when it was the place to be. Once it got held up 3 times in the 1 week. After that, all the stuff served you from behind razor wire and bulletproof glass shields. It was a daunting experience when all you wanted was the Sunday paper and an overpriced bottle of milk. The shopping centre up here used to be a thriving metropolis, with 2 newsagents, a Rockmans, a Chandler's and 4 banks. 4! They only have 2.5 left now. This thing, this one, and this one. And apparently I'm too old to have a Dolomite account with them. It was held up by an axe-wielding maniac not long ago, and one year on my birthday there was a police shootout. There were helicopters flying everywhere looking for the suspects, and Mum locked us in the house and made us stay inside for the whole afternoon. But now, the shopping centre contains a scuba diving shop, 2 bottle shops, an adult video store, a Cuban cigar cellar, 6 hairdressers, and a kebab shop with some letters missing. For years the kebab shop had a sign that said the best kebabs in Moorooka. In fact, they were the only kebabs in Moorooka. But the thing that bugged me most about it was the sign said Moorooka with an A. But then they got it changed. So apart from the occasional mention on the nightly news and an appearance in a Mike Munro expose on dodgy car salesmen, Moorooka is often mentioned on the radio in speed camera updates. If they say it's on Bow Desert Road, it's usually under this tree here, so watch out. The water main up here used to burst regularly and flood everything within a 200-metre radius. The council kept doing patch-up jobs on the pipe until my mum showed the local member a photo of me when I was 3, standing in front of the gushing water outside our house. She told him that I was now 15, and the pipe was replaced soon after. Lots of trucks go through Moorooka via Bow Desert Road. Some people try to stop them, but I think they add to the atmosphere. A lot of the trucks were diverted here, to Ipswich Road, home of the Magic Mile. Also on the Magic Mile is this, the Weet-Bix factory. On a blustery day, the smell of Weet-Bix wafts through Moorooka, which is fine if you like Weet-Bix, and tough luck if you don't. But Sanitarium isn't the only company in possession of wholesome grains. There's a wheat silo down here by the rail yards. But this is the dodgy end of town. In fact, they probably aren't even wheat silos. They're probably more like something from Ben Elton's Stark. Or perhaps something else entirely. But apart from raising the eyebrows of a few UN weapons inspectors, Moorooka hasn't really arrived on the world stage. Although there was the time that the original cast of Saturday Disney visited my primary school. I'm talking original here. James Sherry, Sophie Formica and that other girl. The whole school formed a giant mouse ears on the oval. Except my grade. We weren't allowed to be part of the magic and were forced to stand behind the fence, under the tree, at the side of the oval. So famous people have come to Moorooka, but no one famous has ever come from Moorooka. Except this guy who used to live behind the Pizza Hut before it was a Pizza Hut. But he's not really the type of celebrity that you can make a bronze likeness of and use his image to attract tourists and flog snow globes. Although you can't say we didn't try. In spite of this, or perhaps because of this, the suburb hasn't strayed far from resembling one of the fine motor vehicles it so proudly flogs. It's run down, overpriced and touched up to give the appearance that someone actually gives a damn. But one day, maybe, hopefully, a documentary like this will put Moorooka on the map. Janine Mapp, that was the girl from Saturday Disney. James Sherry, Sophie Formica, Janine Mapp. But don't put that in. I'll find a better ending.
Turned into bars and the shopping trolleys go too far. It's all here in Moorooka. Robbing a bank don't take much guile, where the metric system ain't in style. When you're cruising down the magic mile, you must be in Moorooka.
I don't live in Moorooka anymore, but a lot of things have changed since I started making this documentary. For example, the kebab shop finally got a sign with all the letters on it. And trucks have been diverted off Beaudesert Road thanks to this sign on Beaudesert Road. And that guy who used to live behind the Pizza Hut before it was a Pizza Hut, he died.
Trucks are taking over the streets. The train station looks like Tikrīt. No famous people will you meet. They don't live in Moorooka. They don't